Welcome to Corca this week, the podcast, episode number 8, recorded June 27th, 2019. This is a show where we break down in depth some of the biggest stories happening in the world of Corca from the past week, give you our opinions. We will include links to all these stories we talk about over at corecarsnews.com. You can find the podcast story there, or on our YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube. In the show notes down below, we'll have a link to each story, so you can come up with them for your own opinions on them, and let us know. We'll love to hear from you. But it's been a busy week. How have you been, Jess?
I've been great, getting ready for this big move, so things have been a little hectic over here. How are you?
Good, and I still am feeling like I'm unpacking from our move back in the spring. But it's good. Once it's all over, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
A couple quick notes. Don't forget, Amazon Prime Day is coming next month. We already have a deal posted in our deals tab over at corecarsnews.com. For both a TCL TV on sale and the Amazon Fire TV and HD TV 43-inch for like $179. Pretty good deal. But we'll be posting a ton of deals as we find them. If you find a good Prime Day deal, heck, go to Corcars News, click on the Contact Us button, send us an email if you can, include a link to it. And we'll do our best to share as many deals as we can. So subscribe to us on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll put links to all of them down in the show notes. But let's get into it, because it's definitely going to be a busy day. One more time talking about AT&T and DirecTV Now, because AT&T just cannot seem to keep their mouth shut right now. But we kind of mentioned it a little bit, but the news really broke after we recorded the podcast that DirecTV Now is president has, or AT&T's president has said that DirecTV Now is no longer their main focus. AT&T's president, who oversees many different parts of their entertainment area, said, "We have emphasized DirecTV Now." He said it, but it was DirecTV Now he was referring to, slightly less than we did when it first launched, because we are more focused on other elements of our portfolio. Just before this, he had said that we have a portfolio of entertainment services to include DirecTV Now, the new Warner Media, DirecTV's new streaming version, and more. And so this was said by David Christoph at the Bank of America AT&T, or Bank of America Merrill Lynch Telecom and Media Conference, and his title is AT&T's Mobility and Entertainment President, overseeing all those departments. So I know a lot of people are like, Luke, you're always talking about this, because AT&T's really been just running their mouth about DirecTV Now, and how, in short, it just doesn't seem to be that big of an importance to them now. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like you said, we've been talking about this a lot. And I just want to say one more time, I know that the DirecTV Now users really love the service, and they feel like we're always smack-talking DirecTV Now. But like you said, if it's just not a priority for the company, and they keep making statements like this, we have to keep talking about it.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see what AT&T is doing here. They're pretty much saying DirecTV Now was good, but we have a different plan now. And I think that's what's happening here. And just because they have a different plan does not necessarily mean that this is the end of DirecTV Now. It may be the end of the DirecTV Now name, and I fully expect them to drop that to avoid confusion with the new DirecTV streaming version. But they do seem to have a more of a Hulu-esque vision for this service. I mean, over under DirecTV Now as a brand being around a year from now. What do you think?
I don't know. Do you see something happening with them and Warner Media where they turn it into one service and change the name and get rid of DirecTV Now altogether? Or what do you think will happen with that?
I would expect them to combine it into the Warner Media name. I think that is the future of DirecTV Now, and I think that is the future of where they're going with all of this. Overall, I just think that DirecTV Now was a particular service, particular time. They brought it as far as they think they could, and at some point, AT&T sat down and said, never mind, we're going to move away from this.
Yeah, I think that there's also something to be said for this idea of everything having the same name. Whenever people are just hearing DirecTV over and over and over again for different services and things, I feel like it gets very confusing.
Yeah, I really think that is an issue that they have going on right now, that they need to drop it, because maybe it's the brand name that they don't like. Maybe they're just like, hey, you know, this doesn't have quite the brand reputation we want it to have right now, so Warner Media one may be better for them. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens there. But there's not a lot new to say other than, I mean, for a company who's supposed to be very interested in DirecTV Now, they seem to be very eager to talk about the demise of DirecTV Now, just to be honest. So let's keep going into the next story. You're up next, Jess.
Yeah, so Fubo TV is adding 13 more Discovery networks. They already have HGTV and Food Network in their lineup, but now they're adding Discovery Channel, TLC, Investigation Discovery, Animal Planet, the Oprah Network, and Motor Trend all to their basic package. These channels are expected to be added over the next few weeks, so don't look for them right away. If you're not seeing them, you're not missing out. They'll be there. And they're also adding some other channels to their add-on packages. So 13 new Discovery networks coming to Fubo TV.
You know, Fubo TV is definitely stepping up their game. From a service that was mostly focused on international sports for a while when it first launched, then came out with a live TV-esque service similar to Sling TV and PlayStation Vue at the time. It's really going. Now, it's kind of an interesting diversification from a sports focus to more of a traditional live TV service, because none of these channels are focused on sports. So I'm very interested to see what they do next going forward with Fubo TV. What's their long-term goal? What's their exit plan here? Been rumors are up for sale. I'm not sure I fully believe that. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, the big question, adding these 13 new networks, do you think the price will go up?
They just had their price hike, so I would like to think that that price hike to what it was at $54.99 now includes this change. Since that price hike happened, they've added Viacom and Discovery networks. It doesn't seem to leave a lot of room for additional networks now that they've added the Viacom and the Discovery networks to their lineup.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't go up much more. They will be pricing themselves out of the competition, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the big problem Fubo has, is the lack of ESPN at that price point. You can go down slightly. Yeah, you lose maybe some channels, but you add all the Disney properties, including ESPN, the Disney Channel, Freeform, and that kind of stuff on some of their competitors. But, I mean, the DVR on Fubo TV is pretty nice. I think the user interface is a good experience. They offer 4K, which is something I don't think any other streaming service is doing at this time. So there's definitely things that make you say, hey, this is actually a pretty nice service with a good deal on it.
Yeah, and I think we just don't hear about it as much because it was so sports focused that it kind of only came up in conversation when someone asked about how to watch, like, soccer, South American soccer. We could say, oh, Fubo is what you want. But yeah, now that they're adding these channels, it's definitely much more competitive.
Definitely. So we'll keep a close eye on this and see what happens going forward. But for now, we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to the next story, because I think this one will be of interest to a lot of our readers. But we have learned that the new TCL 6 Series TV is coming to, is approved by the FCC. It's going to be coming to market. So this looks to be an updated version of the 2018 TCL 6 Series TV with the model numbers R625 and R627. I'll get to them in a minute. 60 hertz per second refresh rate, 4K HDR, with 4 HDMI ports, Ethernet, RCA cables, support for antennas, optical audio out, and at least one version with a point-anywhere remote. Two different model numbers. Best Buy typically does a slightly cheaper version of the Roku TVs from TCL with a line-of-sight remote, where Amazon will sell one with a point-anywhere voice control remote. So I think it's a pretty cool move of theirs to include that here, to have the ability to update the system. It does include a new form factor. It looks like a metal stand on it, which is a nice, hopeful, an improved look of the metal stand on it. I'm not sure people like it or not. If you look at the story we linked to, you can get an image of what this new TV will look like. Now, sadly, still no word about the TCL 8 series, which was announced back in January, which will be an 8K version of the Roku TV line. So it'll be the first Roku TV with 8K out there, and we'll see. This was our pick for the best TV under $1,000. I'm excited to see what the updated version of it does. Yeah, I don't know, Jess, what do you think of the whole Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV Edition smart TVs and Android TVs? Do you like them, or are you more of a give me a dumb TV and let me plug in a device?
It's funny you say that, because a lot of people recently, I'm not sure if it was in this live stream or last week, people were saying, can I still buy a dumb TV? I don't need a smart TV. The phrase dumb TV just made me laugh. I like mine. I have a Fire TV, and I like it, but I definitely find myself using my Roku and my Apple TV more often than using the features of my smart TV.
Yeah, I can definitely say I've heard that too, that there are a lot of people who like the ability to have a dumb TV and then just make it smart with whatever device they have. Now, my thing is with these Roku TVs, Fire TVs, you can still plug in a Roku or an Apple TV or whatever you want into it. It won't stop you. So I would say get whatever TV you like at the price point you like, and then don't worry about that part of it. Would be my recommendation.
Yeah, definitely. I have, I think, 3 different devices plugged into my TV right now.
Yeah, Amazon just announced a new smart TV from Toshiba. It looks just like the previous Toshiba one, same body, but they added Dolby Vision, which is something that Rokus have had for a long time that they haven't. They've had 4K HDR 10. A lot of people prefer the Dolby Vision HDR. Now Amazon's added it. Now here's TCL up in their game again. It feels like TCL has pretty much put their foot in the ground and said, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes to be slightly ahead of all the other competitors out there. If they can maintain, we'll see. I want to get my hands on the new Toshiba Fire TV Edition Smart TV and test out what that Dolby Vision looks like, because when you compare the first generation Toshiba Fire TVs to the second generation, to the TCL 6 series, there definitely was a difference there. Now, the second generation Toshiba to the TCL 6 series, I'm interested to see if they've caught up in picture quality, if it's the same or maybe even better.
Yeah, I would like to see a bunch of them just side by side. I think that's my issue, is that whenever I am watching TV, I always think, oh, this looks fine. I could be watching in standard definition. I have no idea. And then I go to Costco, where they have that whole display of TVs as soon as you walk in the door. And every time I'm like, oh, wow, no, this is so much better. So I would love to see some just side by side to compare.
Yeah, that's kind of the joy of these kind of things is, for most people, I don't think it matters that much. I was talking about this in the Q&A yesterday. It's like, okay, yes, this TV is slightly better in picture, but I don't think most people can see it. It's kind of what was the issue that 4K had, and it's the reason they came out with HDR, is like going from standard def to HD, you saw a huge difference.
Right.
Going from HD to 4K, a lot of people said, I don't really see a difference. It wasn't until like HDR came with a much brighter colors, a more vibrant, deep blacks and stuff, that really made people go, oh, you know what, here's something. So I think for many people, they just don't notice a slight difference. It's like my cheap TV when I'm in my home looks great to me, so why go spend a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for a different TV?
Yeah, and fair enough. If it's working for you, go for it. There's no need to spend thousands of dollars on a new TV if you don't need one.
Definitely. So, anything you want to add to this story?
No, but speaking of these new TVs, I have another story about Amazon Prime Day. So Amazon is already rolling out the deals for Prime Day. They have cut the price of their Fire TV Edition Smart TV as an early Prime Day sale, and it is the Toshiba 43-inch that you were talking about, down to $179, and that's down from $300. So, pretty big price difference there. As usual, Amazon is offering deals leading up to Prime Day, which is taking place Prime Days. I mean, really? July 15th and 16th. So, we'll find lots of deals on that day, but don't forget to be checking in the days leading up. They have lots of good cord-cutting deals in the meantime.
Yeah, and again, like we said at the beginning of the show, if you find a deal, please let us know. We'll be posting about the deals as quickly as we can find them, but it's not. Mini helpers make the work a lot easier.
Yeah, so look for deals on devices, on TVs, on antennas, on speakers. Everything you should be able to find deals in all of those categories. Also, the streaming content itself, so movies to rent or buy have been going on sale. So right now, Jordan Peele's movie Us is available to rent for $2.99. So that's what I will be doing this weekend.
There you go. Yeah, Amazon's been doing a lot of $2.99, $3.99 rental deals on very current movies recently. Mm-hmm. Movies that some of them just hit stores or just hit streaming services, I should say. It's not a physical store, I guess people would tell me. But yeah, if you can get it, definitely check that out because it's a good deal out there. And we'll be posting as many as we can find. But make sure you subscribe to our Twitter account, twitter.com/corecarsnews or facebook.com/corecarsnews, because some of these deals only last an hour or two. And a lot of those don't get a dedicated post on the website because of that. By the time you find it, it's probably expired. So we put a lot of them on our social media. So make sure you subscribe to our different social media services out there.
Yeah.
All right. Next story. And here's one where we can kind of fight it out slightly here. Pluto TV and the Roku channel are the most popular free cord cutting services. Now, we've surveyed over 3,000 of our readers every quarter, asking them a wide range of questions about cord cutting. It helps us get an idea of what's happening in the world of cord cutting, and it gives us an insight into, here's what actual cord cutters are doing. According to that list, Pluto TV and the Roku channel are 1 and 2. Pluto TV has 36.1%. The Roku channel has 35.4%, statistically within the error of a mark, range of error there. But it's a huge lead over Tubi at 6.4, the next most popular, followed by IMDb TV, Amazon's new free streaming service at 5.2%, and 4.5% for Zoe Crackle, and everything kind of quickly dropped off from there. So very interesting to see the growth here. The thing that jumped out to me personally was that the Pluto TV and the Roku channel offered both live and on-demand content, and I wonder if that helped them stand out. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, so I've been writing about these two for the last couple days. I completely agree. I think that Pluto and Roku are both really good. The big difference between the two for me is that Pluto has a very cable-like grid guide. And I think that's something that people really appreciate about it. We have a lot of questions from readers saying that they just miss that grid guide about their cable package. They want the ability to see everything in one list rather than clicking on individual shows. So I think Pluto definitely has that going for it. It only shows a few hours worth of upcoming content. So that's kind of, a flaw. Roku, though, I think the reason that people are liking the Roku channel, it's got this whole new factor. This is one that we just haven't really gotten a chance to use a whole lot, so I think that people are excited about a new free option. And it is good. I like it. I like the Roku channel.
Definitely. I think they're all great. Here's my recommendation. Get all of them.
Yeah, they're free. Go for it.
Some of these will have overlap. There will be some movies and TV shows that are on all of them. But pretty much all of them have exclusive content that's only on Pluto, it's only on Zumo, it's only on the Roku channel, etc. So my recommendations have it because it doesn't hurt. And consider rotating some paid services in exchange for a free service. Don't be feeling like you have to pay for everything. Unless you're somebody, and I do hear people who absolutely hate ads, and I do understand that. I think most cord cutters, if it's an ad and I'm getting it free, hey, I'm good with that. I can deal with an ad if I'm getting free movies and free TV shows.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I will say about Pluto that kind of irritated me, I was actually watching the Brady Bunch movie over the weekend. Great movie. And they kind of cut to commercials at weird times, so it sort of broke up the content in a weird way, so I see why that would be irritating to people. But again, it's free, and it's not so much of an inconvenience that I won't use it.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue that, honestly, all these services have, that they're better about than they used to be, and they're all like, we're going to get better at this. We'll get better, we promise. But for now, they haven't. So,
Yeah.
But with that said, though, there's so much content that's free. To me, it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've really been liking Pluto lately. That's been one of my favorites.
Will you say that is your favorite, or do you have another one you want to add in on that list?
I would put Pluto at the top of my list. Whenever I saw these survey results, I was not surprised to see Pluto, just because of that grid guide. And I had been using it a little more over the weekend because I knew I'd be writing about it. But I really like it, more than I thought I would.
Yeah, honestly, I really do think they've upped their game, especially since Viacom has purchased them. I mean,
yeah.
All the Viacom content now, all the BBC content that's been added and more. It's really great to see it.
It's really cool.
Yeah, if you're a fan of classic Doctor Who, Pluto TV, 100% free, 24/7 Doctor Who episodes.
Yep.
So check it out. Well, I think that's all the stories. Anything you want to double back on or check on before we go into what we're watching right now?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
All right. One thing I wanted to touch base on is PlayStation View commenting on the fact that we still don't know what's happening there. So at the beginning of the month, and I just checked right now as I'm recording this, and on the PlayStation View's channel update page where they list changes to their packages, they still list upcoming renewals that they have until June 2019 to renew their deals with AMC, Discovery, NBC Universal, and Turner Networks. They have until into July to do the NFL Network. So does this mean they're all going black? I don't know. We've emailed Sony. We've asked them about, hey, what's happening here? What are you doing? Any updates? All these networks haven't commented, and Sony hasn't commented beyond posting the warning message that there may be blackouts. Now, I've said this over and over again. Even if there does end up being a blackout for a while on one of these networks, it's probably not going to be permanent. It's probably a short-term blackout with them coming back pretty quick, just like you see with cable and satellite and all the services. But it is very interesting to see that they're not talking about it. So I wish we knew more. We'll be posting updates. This could be kind of a DirecTV Now. Remember, what was it, A&E networks, where they had an issue, and then there was a marketing campaign from A&E about keeping them, I think it was. And then one day that marketing website went away. No press release ever happened, but A&E just stayed on DirecTV Now. That exact same thing could happen here. So that's what we know. A lot of people have been asking. As we learn more, we will be posting more. But for now, that's what we know. All right. Jess, do you have a recommendation for today and what you think everybody should check out?
I do, and mine is kind of a sad one. So there were rumors before of The Office being dropped from Netflix, and we put out a post saying, no, it's not happening yet. You have time. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Well, now they are leaving Netflix, but not until the end of 2020, so there's still plenty of time. NBC is planning to take The Office and put it on a different streaming service, so they are planning on taking it. There was a huge battle between NBC and Netflix where Netflix was offering just millions of dollars to keep The Office. It's their most popular show, so not surprising. So yeah, my recommendation is watch it from the beginning if you haven't already seen The Office. It's well worth watching. One of my favorite shows. And you have until the end of 2020 to make it through that entire series.
I did find it funny that when Netflix announced that The Office will be leaving in January of 2021, and just to be clear, it's January, I think, 1st, 2021 is when it's leaving. Because some news organizations I saw reporting as January 2020. So you have a year and a half. And one of the things I think is being overblown here is this idea that if it's on Netflix, it will always be on Netflix, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's a little unfair to say we want Netflix to keep adding new content, not raise their price past that $12.99 where they are now, and keep everything they've ever had on the service. So binge watch it. And honestly, if you're a Office fan that loves The Office so much you always want to have it, and you have Netflix because of that, buy the DVDs, buy a season pass on Amazon. That's what we did for King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Confession, I don't think a week goes by where in our house we're not watching the Fox King of the Hill show. So when it left Netflix, we went and bought a season pass of it, which it's been great because, if you're subscribing to a service just for one TV show, it's cheaper to just buy it, is I guess my main point there. But I would love to learn from our readers what one show like The Office or like King of the Hill for me do you watch all the time? What show, is it one your kids watch? Are they watching Doc McStuffins or Sophia the First or whatever it may be over and over and over? Or is it like King of the Hill or The Office? I'd love to know what show you watch and could watch all the time. So for my show of the day, I wanted to recommend something that I really enjoyed, but I didn't really enjoy the last season of it. But I would say check it out, which is Arrested Development. Kind of one of those shows where if you don't watch it from the beginning, you're not going to get it. So check out Arrested Development. It's on Netflix. All the seasons, all the way back to the first episode, if I remember correct, is still on there. And check it out. Let me double check that real quick. Yes, all the seasons. There was, I think for a very brief amount of time, season 1, 2, and 3 left, and then it came right back with the deal. Because Netflix owns seasons 4 and 5, and seasons 1, 2, and 3 are owned by Fox. Or, I guess now Disney? I'm assuming Disney has that now. So, check it out. If you don't watch it from the beginning, or if you ever got dragged into watching a random episode, you're probably like, this is stupid, I don't understand this. Go back and watch it from the beginning. It's well worth it. Alright, that's it for today. A little bit of a summer slowdown in the news slightly, but it's about to get really busy. July can often be a very busy month for news in the world of cord cutting. As we get closer to the fall news, we typically start hearing things like, oh, it's the NFL Network, what's happening with them, and that kind of stuff. So check it out over cordcardsnews.com. A lot of stories we're posting about, and so check it out. And we'll see you next week for our weekly cord cutting podcast. Hope you all have a fantastic week, and make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up, because tomorrow we'll be back with Cord Cutting Today, our daily update on the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting. So have a great day, everybody.